What's up, everybody? My name is Brad, and today I've got another book review for you. And today I'm going to be talking about Coleridge by Tom Deady. This is another release from Silver Shamrock Publishing. Comes out on March 24th, which I believe is this coming Tuesday, if I remember correctly. But they had sent this along my way as an ARC for review consideration, so thank you to them for that. I'm going to go ahead and read the synopsis real quick and then get into my thoughts and everything on the book. But before I do that, the cover, it's another cover by Keelan Patrick Burke. He seems to be doing a lot of their cover designs lately, and I love all of them. He has a great design. He has a good eye for design. I really like his covers he's been doing. But on to the synopsis. Coleridge was the start of everything for Zadie and Dahlia. Their love of the old house began as a restoration project and blossomed into a love story, until the tragedy. Coleridge was all Dahlia Cromwell had left. It served as both a tribute to their love and a harsh reminder to her loss, until the visitor arrived. Coleridge was his obsession. Slade knew more about the house than Dahlia did, and he knew of its past. By the end of their long night together in the house, Dahlia would know all of Coleridge's secrets and Zadie's. So sort of as the synopsis hints, the majority of this story, it's short, it's only 88 pages, so I don't want to give too much away about what actually went on, but a lot of it takes place on one single night when this mysterious visitor known as Slade arrives at the Coleridge house. There are other parts of the story. A lot of it is told through flashback, but the majority of it does sort of take place on this one night, sort of the main events of the story. But before that happens, this tragedy it speaks of, that has already occurred when we get into the story and are meeting our characters. Dahlia and Zadie, they bought this house together, Coleridge, and they were going to just restore it together and then sell it off. But they ended up falling in love while working on it, and they decided to sort of keep the house for themselves. And, it was sort of their passion project. As their love grew for one another, their sort of love grew for this house and the relationship they were building with each other and sort of the house itself. This is sort of a gothic story, and it's not a haunted house story. I do want to say that up front. So if you're expecting a haunted house story, that's not what you're getting with this. So you can change those expectations going in. This is just sort of more of a mystery and a thriller, maybe. I'm not sure. It's sort of a slow burn gothic, mystery. There's no ghost or monsters or anything as far as we can tell. But this tragedy happens, and Dahlia is left, living alone in the house. She's sort of just going about her day-to-day. She sort of has like a little curio shop in town, with knickknacks and like souvenirs and things. But other than that, she spends her time at the house and the shop until one day she gets a mysterious visitor in the shop known as Slade, who claims to know things about Zadie and the house, and he eventually comes to the house itself sort of uninvited, and this is when our majority of the story takes place, where we start to get these secrets revealed and so on about Coleridge itself. And a lot of it is told through flashbacks while reading Zadie's journal about previous events that had happened while they were restoring the house and things together. So we start to learn of her secrets as well, and sort of what this mysterious figure known as Slade, what his intentions are, why he's here, what he's seeking out. I did enjoy, the origin sort of the reason why Slade was here. I thought it was going one particular way, sort of what would be behind it all, if you will, and it sort of seemed like it was going a real common route that a lot of other books have been doing, but it took a different turn, and I don't want to say what it is to give anything away, but I was pleasantly surprised that the sort of origins behind all this were rooted in something different than what I was expecting and what a lot of other authors seem to be writing about these days. So that was a really pleasant surprise, and it got me even more excited for the story. That wasn't sort of the same run-of-the-mill stuff that I've been reading a lot lately. So I was excited to see where that was going. So that was a really nice part of it. I really enjoyed Tom Deady's writing. He did a good job of building the relationship between Dahlia and Zadie, even though a lot of that was done, during flashbacks and these journal entries that we see. You came to sort of care and really root for them as a couple, and Dahlia herself, having suffered through this tragedy and this loss, and then there's this weird, mysterious figure that comes into her life and sort of throws a wrench into everything at basically the worst time imaginable. I don't really want to say too much more about the plot and what's going on, but this book, it did leave me with a lot of questions. I do wish, I hate to say this because, an author writes his work or her work, and, the finished product, that's how they intended it to come out, the length of it and things. But for this one, I do wish it was longer. I feel like it left a lot of stuff, not necessarily out, but it was very short with a lot of stuff, just sort of hinting at it and whatnot. And this one could have used a lot more elaboration, in my opinion. Some of the characters' motivations I was unsure of, and then by the end of the book, I was sort of unsure of, did any of this happen? Did some of it happen? What was real, what wasn't real, and that kind of stuff. I know I'm being really vague and not really giving you much to go on, but I wish there was more elaboration in this. It is sort of open-ended and left open to the reader's interpretation about what really happened, and I'm fine with that. But I do wish for this one we would have gotten a little bit more sort of concrete details and facts about what really occurred. The mystery itself, we sort of get what's going on, but not really. Like I said, a lot of it is left to your open interpretation about what's going on. And I just wish there would have been more, especially with the origin I was talking about earlier and the history and sort of mythology that's built up with that. I would have loved to have more detail and depth about that kind of stuff. That was probably my favorite part of the book, and it's not in the book very much. We just sort of get brief little sentence or paragraph here and there about sort of the origin of it, and like I said, that was my favorite part. There was a really fun and cool scene that involved a rocking chair, which I really enjoyed. I don't want to give too much more away about that. If you've read it, you'll know what I'm talking about. And Zadie herself, going back through her diary and uncovering the secrets that she had, I'm just really unsure of her motivations and why she ended up doing what she did. I'm sort of confused by that. I don't really understand why she needed to do what she did. But if you have read this book, and you'll obviously know what I'm talking about, let me know down in the comments, especially for Zadie's motivations. If you have any, and I might just have missed it, might have gone over my head, but if you maybe understood more about Zadie's motivations for it. I know my buddy John from Written in Blood has read this already, so I'd like to hear your thoughts on it, John, if you watch this video. But overall, I did really enjoy the story. I gave it 3.5 stars out of 5, rounded up to 4 for Amazon and Goodreads. I said the writing was great. I liked the characters. Slade, he was a creepy sort of villain. I really liked him. If this was cast as a movie, I just kept picturing Sam Neill from Jurassic Park as Slade. I don't know why, but he just popped in my head as who Slade would look like. But Slade was a nice creepy villain, and Dahlia herself, she was a powerful female character. that didn't need the help of someone coming in to rescue her and save the day. She was able to handle her own and do what she needed to do in the situations that she was put in. So that was nice as well. But I don't really want to say too much more. This has sort of been a weird, vague review, but I did really enjoy it. I enjoyed the writing. I do look forward to reading more of Tom Deady. I just wish it would have been more to this, and we would have gotten more concrete information, and it being a little less sort of open-ended than it was. But don't let that deter you from checking it out. Like I said, it still is a really good, fun read. And I really liked the sort of the one night scenario that was going on, where they were trying to figure this out, the back and forth between Slade and Dahlia, trying to figure out what was going on, and them sort of pitted against each other. But if you've read this, I'd like to hear your thoughts and comments about it down in the comment section below, especially for Zadie's motivations and what she did. If you understood why she did what she did, I don't really understand why she did that. But again, this is 3.5 stars, rounded up to 4 for Amazon and Goodreads from Silver Shamrock Publishing. They've been putting out great stuff lately, and I'm looking forward to more of the releases that are coming out soon. But this has been Coleridge by Tom Deady. I've been Brad. Thanks for spending your time with me, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.